Happy Friday, powerful leaders. Oh my gosh, I am so excited about today's episode. I cannot even contain my excitement. This episode, oh my gosh, it's gonna blow your socks off. This next guest, she is an amazing person. She is dedicated in the wellness coaching space, and she has a unique way of approaching trauma release and self improvement and emotional well being. And she truly has a heart for transformation and healing. And she empowers individuals to overcome their past, embrace personal growth, and liberate their emotions. But her journey doesn't end on Earth. She's also an accomplished astronaut, and she's making history as the first person from Antigua and Barbuda to venture into the vast expanse of space with her daughter. And she is, oh my God, like you're gonna listen to her speak and you're gonna have goosebumps. I was smiling so hard, my cheek hurt from her conversation. And I'm deciding to make this episode a two-part special because we chatted for quite a long time and I want to keep things interesting. So, this is part one of the series. And without further ado, please welcome Keisha Schahaff. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anastatia Mayers, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Keisha. Hey, girl.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. Like, I'm so honored that you said yes to my invitation.
Oh, wow. It's just so special that I actually get the chance to be in this position, with
Yeah.
such a beautiful miracle and transformation that has happened in my
Mm-hmm.
life for a dream to come true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So tell us, who is Keisha? What does she do? And what got you into what it is that you do?
Well, I'm really a self development coach, and it took a
Mm-hmm.
while for me to narrow it down to call myself a self development coach because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm so much of everything. And why limit yourself to just like one little aspect when we are so diverse and we have so much parts as a being?
Mm-hmm.
So my journey really started out as a flight attendant, loving travel, loving to just explore our planet and go as many places.
Mm-hmm.
I was a young mother. I had my first daughter when I was 19,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that pregnancy or that experience was my invitation into trauma because of the way it happened. And a little bit before that, I had trauma as well when my father and my mother separated when I was
Mm-hmm.
17. So life was really like a transformation for me. So it was coming from this mindset of being a victim and feeling like, why is all of these things happening to me? And, like this type of way. And I
Mm-hmm.
saw that as my superpower because it allowed me to now bounce from being in this mindset and transitioning myself to who I am today. So,
Mm.
I had my second daughter when I was in my later 20s, and that's the
Mhm.
daughter that went to space with me. And
Mm.
and I, in my second marriage, my first marriage ended, and that was more layers of trauma that was built on top of me. And
Mm.
in my second marriage, my poor husband had to get that part of me, the unhealed part of me. So there were like like a lot of challenges in that marriage, and or in this marriage, because I'm still in the marriage.
Mhm.
And that led me to really put my feet down and start to change my life. So I started
Mhm.
seeking help. I became an entrepreneur, I became a designer. But no matter how much good fortune that had happened to me, I still felt like I
Mm.
was stuck in my life. So then that's when I ended up becoming a coach, or
Mm.
studying to become a coach, doing the courses and all of that. And I found that the alternative way of living, or the holistic way of living, was what attracted me.
Mm.
So it was a lot of work on top of all of that. So long story short, my daughter now, my second daughter, she was 17, and she just during the time of COVID, and she was going through her depression,
Mm.
lockdowns and all of that. She couldn't see her friends anymore, and she was in that last class in high school. And
Mhm.
she was very stressed. What about her future? She's not going to do good in her grades and all of that because she's missing classes. And
Mm.
so I had to calm her down and everything, and got her to start thinking more positive and think about the next step in your life, which is going to college. So she made her only choice to go to college in Scotland, Aberdeen. And to
Wow.
her surprise, she got accepted.
Wow.
So when she got accepted, now she had a deadline where we had to now hustle and get her visa so she can move to Scotland and start her classes for that
Mhm.
summer, end of that summer. So the only flights available were from Antigua to go to Barbados for her to get her visa to go to the UK. It's usually an hour flight. If you go
Mhm.
directly with the Caribbean Airlines, there were no flights available for her because all of the restrictions and all of that. So the only flight I could find was from Antigua, going 8 hours to London, sitting there for 6 hours, and then eight
Wow.
hours from London to Barbados. That was ridiculous. But I said to her, in order for you to accomplish your dream, this is what we're going
Mhm.
to do. So I just did it. So I became like that super mom that was going to make anything happen
Mm.
just so my kid can get over her depression and, like
Mhm.
have a future. So we did that flight. And then as I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about my life, and I'm like, okay, I've been a mother from since I was 19, and I've always had this dream of going into space. I've always had this dream of, living
Mhm.
my life. And I remember when I was 2 years old, I was in kindergarten, and they were talking about what would you like to be when you grow up, and I said an astronaut. And I remember
Mhm.
all the kids laughed at me, even the teachers. So
Wow.
it was not even something that anyone thought of in the island. So
Mm.
sitting on this flight now with my daughter, I'm thinking about all of that, and I'm saying to myself, universe, please, what can I do with my life now? I would like, to now start my journey, because in my mind, I'm not thinking that my journey already started with all that I've done.
Mhm.
I'm thinking now my kids have left home, and now what am I going to do with myself? So
Mm.
suddenly I see an ad pop up on the entertainment screen in the plane just before watching a movie. There's usually little
Mhm.
ads. So I guess it was like a random thing, like not everybody's screen got that, or maybe it was just a channel from the universe directing a message to me. That is a
Mm.
mystery I think we would never know the answer to. But Richard Branson showed up in an Amaze ad and says, would you like to go to space? And all I could say,
Wow.
universe, are you freaking kidding me? And then I just like, yes, I'm definitely doing this. And it was a sweepstake for Amaze, and you had to pay an entry, and you had to fill out a few questions or whatever, and then
Wow.
you're in. But obviously you needed internet to do that, because they gave you the link that you should go to. And it was the
Mhm.
first time ever that I hooked up on the internet on this flight, and it actually worked. It didn't buffer, it didn't give me trouble. So I was like, this has to be
Wow.
a sign from the universe. So
Yeah.
I filled it all out, and I had this strong feeling like this was for me because of the prayer that I know that I put in. But then
Mhm.
anyway, I decided, you know what, you drop it, especially studying about the laws of the universe,
Mm.
and the law of attraction and all of that. And so I
Mhm.
thought, just drop it and leave it alone. If this is something for you, you don't need to put energy into it. It will just naturally come. And then, to my surprise, a few weeks later, I started getting emails from Omaze. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
wow, this, what is going on? What is happening here? But then I still didn't put too much excitement because it didn't say you're a winner. It says that you're a top, I think it was 20 finalists or something like that.
Oh my god.
And then I started getting letters now from Virgin Galactic office saying that I needed to fill out some forms, I needed to answer some questions, but I
Mhm.
had to do it all in 24 hours or I would be disqualified. So I was like, whoa, I have to get on this. So it's like something just like, and the weird thing is, something led me to even check my email because it's not something I do often either. So it was like a strong feeling, get up and
Mhm.
check your email. And I just listened, I showed up, I just did it.
Mhm.
And then I filled out everything. And then they asked this question, who would be, you would be, if you were to win, it would be two seats. Who would be your guest? You get to bring a guest with
Mm.
you. And I didn't even think that it was an entry for two persons, that you get to go and you get to bring a
Wow.
guest, because I was so excited when I was filling out those forms, almost like I went into a trance. So I didn't even think about that then. I'm like, oh no, who am I going to ask now? Because nobody else is like as, like weird as me
Mhm.
that would want to go to space. I don't know anybody else that would have wanted something like that. So I asked my husband. Obviously, he would have been the first person, and he just shut me down. He said no. He didn't believe that it was true. He just thought that it was a prank or something like that.
You were skeptical.
He was skeptical. So then I asked another friend, and a
Mhm.
beautiful friend that I have who just moved to Antigua. And I thought, okay, maybe it would be nice for her because she would speak about space with me when we would have our jokes. And I say, well,
Mhm.
I just want a UFO to just come pick me up, and let's go traveling the universe. And even if it was a joke, it was like I was actually
Mhm.
serious.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, but the thing is, she just had a baby. So I was a little bit worried about that.
Mm.
If I was to actually really, really win and she was to come, that would probably be a problem. So
Mhm.
then I started having this discussion with my daughter because she had just come back home and was visiting. And,
Mhm.
and then she said to me, Mom, she didn't really believe me, but she said, Mom, if this was actually something true and you were to win, if anyone is going to space with you, it would be me. So your friend, I'm
Mm.
sorry. So we had dinner with her tonight, and I had to break the news to my friend. I said, well, my daughter says she wants to come. And then my friend was like, you know what? Your daughter should come first. It's fine with her. But,
Mhm.
but because I already asked her, I thought it would be nice
Mhm.
to, say that to her.
Mhm.
So then a few weeks later, I got another email said that you're top five finalists, and
Oh my
we
god.
need to send you a gift, because all the top five finalists, we're sending them a gift.
Wow.
Crazy, huh? So
Yeah.
at that point in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, either I won or something. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I gave them my address and everything. And but not thinking, because our address don't have zip code and house numbers or even
Mhm.
the name of a street. It's just a village and a
Mhm.
parish. That's it. So that's all I gave them because that's all I have. And and then suddenly they said, okay, so we're going to mail you your package, but we want to call you the same time that you got your package. So they set up
Mhm.
a call, a Zoom call with me on a particular date. And on
Mhm.
that particular date, I showed up, I answered the Zoom call, and then suddenly they said to me, okay, so we're having some connection issues, we're going to call you right back. and then suddenly they started walking into my yard. I don't have I have big I know I have big windows, and I don't put curtains because I really like seeing the sky. So
Yeah.
in my house, you just have full access to seeing the sky, especially at night
Wow.
with all the stars and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw people walking into the yard, and I started getting nervous. I'm like,
Oh
who
my
are those
gosh.
people? What is that long stick going there? My husband was in on it. I was telling him, he says, no, 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 sit down. It's nothing. It's the gardener coming in to cut the grass or something like that. That's what he said. And
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, okay, but this is a little fishy. So anyway, I sat down there. But then when I saw Richard Branson walking in, making
Oh
his
my
way up my steps, that's when I started screaming. I'm like, oh my God. And then and then he walks up the steps and says, you won, you're going to space.
god. Oh
uh,
my god. What was your initial reaction?
I was just screaming. I couldn't believe it because I never won anything in my life. And that
Wow.
was like, that felt like a gift from the universe for all the work that I've done, my
Yeah.
transformation and everything. And it also felt like the universe is saying the universal laws are real. That's what it kind of felt like as well.
Yeah.
So it was like a confirmation of all of these things. I'm like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a deeper connection for me than just going to space. It was like, you just got the
Mm-hmm.
best award ever. So that's so that's what that felt like for me. And so I was
Mm-hmm.
just so happy. I was like really, really happy.
Wow.
And then all I could feel like is that your story is going to inspire so many people to believe in
Yes.
themselves, to believe in dreams, to believe in the power of transformation, the power of
Mm-hmm.
self care, the power of all of this self love. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is why I'm so honored to share my story with anyone who invites me. And this
Mm-hmm.
is all I can think of doing for the rest of my life.
I love it. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like I just got chills and I'm just
Yeah.
like, wow, like you are a master manifester. Like
Yeah, I just couldn't believe that this actually happened. And I
yeah.
feel like it's not even a selfish act. It feels like an act of
Mm-hmm.
humanity. And
Yeah.
whenever I say this, two things I keep saying in interviews, and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel like it's my words. It feels like it's something that I am like just bringing out, like the universe is speaking through me, where I say
Mm-hmm.
transformation and humanity. This is what this feels like,
Mm.
an act of transformation and an act of humanity. So
Mm.
that's how
So
that
beautiful.
transformed.
Yeah. So how long did it take from the announcement to you actually going to space?
Well, I feel like I know there's some people that have waited 18 years. And
Yeah.
I feel like no matter how long you wait, it's not enough time to really prepare you, even mentally,
Mm.
for going into space. I feel like it's something that cannot be rushed. You have to
Mm.
really take your time and prepare yourself for it. But it
Mm-hmm.
took less than 2 years. First, it
Wow.
felt like it was taking a long time because I had no idea what date it's going to be or when they're going to be ready,
Mm.
or what's going on. But all I
Mhm.
could feel like, trust the process, trust the process. So I was
Mhm.
totally calm with the whole idea of waiting and preparing myself for it. But then the
Mhm.
moment that the date was announced, that's when it felt rushed. I'm like, oh my God, it's happening now.
And how did you prepare for it? Did you like do specific diet? Like what was the preparation phase?
I continued practicing my coaching system because I just keep
Mhm.
recycling my 12-week program within myself and going deeper in it. So I've always been a vegan, and I just maintained that diet. I maintained doing my
Mhm.
detoxes. I
Mhm.
maintained just pure plant based foods because the way my
Mhm.
body feels energized from that, the way my mind feels so present from that, I felt
Mhm.
like that has to be something that I should just continue focusing on. So, which
Mhm.
I did. So, I can say I did a bit of add-ons to the process because I
Mm-hmm.
kind of got into more journaling, like my
Mm.
mission, what I want to project out into the universe, like mindset shifting, being more positive, because I felt like
Mm.
I'm preparing myself to be now in the open, pure energies of the universe, not to
Mm.
be sheltered by the atmosphere or anything. Now I'm being in the full energy of the universe. And what mindset do I want to project out there when I get there? So that was kind of my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, I made sure I built up my blood because as a woman, I find that many of us
Mm.
go through low blood counts.
Mm.
So I made
Yeah.
sure I started taking more vitamins, building up on my iron and stuff like that to make sure
Mm-hmm.
that my blood count was up and doing. I increased the amount of breathing exercises I was doing to make sure
Mm-hmm.
oxygen is going through my blood, and increasing in my cardio as well. Every morning I
Mm-hmm.
was going for my jogging up the hills here because I live in the mountains in Antigua, in the
Mm-hmm.
island. So I'm just exposed to nature. So a lot of grounding as well.
Mm.
So that's what I was doing. And the reason I was doing that because when you're experiencing this heavy boost that you're going to go through,
Mm-hmm.
being in that rocket,
Oh my
you
God.
you have to have a strong heart and
Mm.
so that you can handle that type of pressure. So
Mm.
that's the training I was doing on my own, building
Mm-hmm.
my health in that way. Not that my health anything was wrong with me in my health
Mm-hmm.
before, but this was not the time for me to go into any bad habits.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
or the time for me to get sick or anything like that. So I made sure I was
Yeah.
building my immune system, so
Mm-hmm.
that everything can go smoothly and nothing could prevent me from going into space.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You got me at the edge of my seat right now. I'm just like, okay, so then what happened?
Yeah, but then also I did some really great programs with Virgin
Yeah.
Galactic. They had a readiness program where
Oh,
their
wow.
top engineers and scientists,
Mm-hmm.
they put together a really nice program where they're educating you about the craft and what to
Wow.
expect out there, and also encouraging you to do your meditations, your mindfulness practices, your journaling,
Mm.
being very focused and present as well. So
Mm-hmm.
everything I had in my little program there, I was like, this is such an alignment because, like, I'm working on myself, I'm learning how to build my own programs,
Yeah.
and all of this led up for this moment. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, look at that. And then to show that it actually worked. And then if someone needs help, I can easily just teach them this
Mm-hmm.
way as well. And my plan is to teach children, especially this way, because if we
Mm.
want a sustainable future on our planet, we should start with our kids, right?
Yeah.
So that would be amazing. So, and then also, in addition to that, which all ties in with Space for Humanity, they have
Mm-hmm.
prepared me so wonderfully for what am I going to do after space? How am I going to make an impact and help to
Mm.
shift and bring something positive and good to the planet, that you
Mm-hmm.
can help people? So they put me through a citizen astronaut leadership program where
Wow.
it's teaching me how to be a leader, how to make an impact, how to
Mm-hmm.
create something wonderful. So when I think about what am I going to create, it's a way how I can keep inspiring, especially women, especially in the different minorities, and so that we can also have a chance. Because in my area where I'm from, in the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
no one even thinks about going to space because it's not something anyone speaks about. And for
Mm.
such a dream to manifest in this part of the world shows that we can acquire anything, just like, the first world
Mm.
countries and all of that. So it puts me in a great position where I'm highlighting my island in Antigua and Barbuda and
Mm-hmm.
encouraging the people here that they can dream and conquer their fears, because it's amazing how much people are fearful of going into space or the thought of going into
Mm.
space. they just get thrills. And and I just keep hearing them say, "Oh, I would never do that. I would never do that." But the good thing is the young folks are watching and they're seeing this and they see how
Yeah.
amazing it was and how much fun we had. And they
Mm-hmm.
hopefully they as well can have access to space, when they're ready. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. Oh my gosh. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to learn like how was like the actual ascension like and getting there and seeing space like for the first time. Like how was it?
Wow, the whole journey just getting there was mind blowing.
This is it for part 1. How is Keisha feeling now that she's in space? What are the biggest lessons that she takes away from the whole experience? Please don't miss part 2 coming up next week. It's gonna be amazing. And if you enjoyed this first part, make sure to tag us on Instagram. Make sure to make a shout out. Let us know what you thought about Keisha's experience so far. Let's keep the conversation going, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.